Shaquille O'Neal is taking over NBA 2K25. What's good, everybody? We are back, and today I'm giving you guys my Shaq build. I had to do the intro on this build. Look, I got Burley the other day, and I'm looking massive. You're going to see in these clips, I'm throwing people around, dogging them in the paint, snagging boards over everybody, and if I get the ball down low, nobody is stopping me. This build is an absolute beast. I don't have that much more to say about it. Drop a like, drop a sub. Turn those notifications on. We are going crazy all through 2K25. And without further ado, let's check out some of these clips on this Shaq build. Getting right into it, you're going to see this in a ton of the clips. I'm throwing them out of the way and dunking all over him in the paint, but we're also throwing people out of the way to grab rebounds. This build plays exactly like Shaq and might be my closest player representation build yet. As you can see, I'm playing with my boy Clutch up next, and I had to keep this whole clip in to show you guys how dominant this build is in the paint. We've already got 2 rebounds in a row. Another shot goes up. We're pushing him out of the way, grabbing a third rebound, back out to him. Another shot goes up, another rebound. He ends up driving in. I'm telling them to shoot anything because I'm grabbing every board. Another shot goes up and another rebound. We're kicking it back out to him again. Another rebound. This might be my craziest clip yet on this build besides all the crazy contact dunks, and then he ends up finishing it out with a mid-range there. Next game, jumping right over the center, grabbing more boards, blocking him at the rim. This build is a straight highlight reel. It's insane. Jumping right over him for the rebound, continuously sending shots back. He's trying to dunk on me. It's not happening. You guys thought the last rebound clip was crazy. I have another one just like it. I'm throwing the inside center out of the way, kicking it back out, getting position, grabbing another board, back out to Clutch, another board coming, just throwing the other team's center around game after game. Rebounding isn't the only fun part of this build, though. We are throwing down some insane dunks. We get the Shaq dunk package on this build. You can consistently catch standing lobs over the other team. All right, getting right into finishing. If you know anything about Shaq, we had to make sure all of these ratings were extremely high. This is one of the best parts of the build, but it gets even crazier, I'm not going to lie. But we are going to end up going with an 88 close shot, 47 driving layup, 67 driving dunk, 94 standing dunk, and a 93 post control. Some of the badges we're going to get with this is Silver Paint Prodigy, Gold Float Game, Gold Hook Specialist. So if you're not able to drop step with the Shaq build, if for some reason they're stopping you, you are going to be able to turn around and shoot a post hook because of how high our close shot is. Then coming down to standing dunk, it is at 94, which gives us Gold Rise Up and Hall of Fame Aerial Wizard. But this is a situation, if you want to use your cap breakers in this spot, you could get that to 99 and have Legend Rise Up, which I've seen quite a few people do videos on, and it's looking very overpowered this year. I'm going to tell you all the areas where you could use your cap breakers on this build. This is definitely one of them. 99 standing dunk is looking very, very good this year. And then as far as the 93 post control, that's going to get us Hall of Fame post powerhouse, gold post up poet, silver unpluckable so we're not getting ripped. And this is where I'm going to be using my max +1 badge. I'm going to make post powerhouse legend instead of Hall of Fame. And because we have our strength so high, having this badge on legend is going to have us throwing people out of the way, dunking on them all the time in the paint. So if you did end up using your cap breakers on standing dunk, that means you're going to have legend rise up and legend post powerhouse. You're going to be throwing people out of the way, and if they somehow stop you, you're dunking over them every time. 2K did a great job of making big builds dominant in the paint this year. So if you stack up your finishing attributes like this, nobody's going to be able to stop you. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to run into very many centers with higher interior defense than these finishing stats, or higher strength than the 95 we get that you'll see later on. This is just the start. The build gets really crazy. Let's check out the shooting on this Shaq build. All right, and I probably didn't need to include this for the shooting, but we are going to go with a 48 mid-range, 25 three-pointer, and a 48 free throw. I really just didn't want your stats to get messed up or not know where to put stuff at the end of your build. But if you didn't know by the title and the thumbnail, this is a Shaq build. This is an inside center build. We're not getting shooting on this build. The 48 free throw is not going to help you that much. You're probably going to be missing a lot of those. But that's how Shaq is, and that's just how this build has to be as dominant as possible in other areas. Not wasting any more time on this one. Absolutely nothing in the shooting. Let's get on to the playmaking. All right, getting into the playmaking here, we are going to go with a 71 pass accuracy, 48 ball handle, and 31 speed with ball. Nothing too crazy, but this is pretty typical for a center build. On the other center build I did end up going with an 80-something pass accuracy. I'm telling you right now, I have 70s on a lot of my builds. This 71 will do more than enough to get the job done. Sometimes, I will admit, the long passes in rec, like if you're throwing it from one end to the other, might be a little scary. But we are getting bronze break starter and silver diamond on this build, so you're still going to be throwing good passes. And in any kind of park game mode, threes game mode, where it's not a full fives court, it won't be an issue at all. I wouldn't even be saying all this if it wasn't a center build because I rock 71 on my point guard build. And then the ball handle at 48 ended up coming up with other stuff we upgraded, but it is going to help us, like if we catch a slip or catch a roll in the pick and roll, you won't be a complete cone when you're running towards the basket with the ball. It's going to help you get a few more standing dunks. Nothing too crazy, not trying to hype that up. And then speed with ball again, just came up with the other attributes. Playmaking is nothing crazy, but the defense is very good on this build. So let's get into that. All right, so for the defense on this build, we're going to go with an 82 interior, 40 perimeter, 37 steal, and an 84 block. The interior defense rating is going to get us silver paint patroller, silver post lockdown, and silver off-ball pest. And then the 84 block rating is also going to contribute towards that silver paint controller, but it's also going to get us gold pogo stick and silver high flying denier. With the height, weight, wingspan, and strength that we have on this build, we're going to get a ton of stops in the paint. Anybody that comes in is getting bodied up. We're getting contests on absolutely everything. That's what I love about this build. There's nobody able to push us around. And just the pure intimidation factor of how big and strong we are, nobody's going to try to shoot over us. And if they do try, 99% of the time, it's not going to work. This really is a build where if you want to stop post scores consistently, you're going to be able to. I think a lot of it comes down to having the high interior and the strength along with the long wingspan. Not just stopping post scores though, this build really is viable everywhere. You can use it on the 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s, wherever you want to play with this build. And it's going to dominate. It's not just going to get the job done, it is a very dominant build. That's all I got for the defense though. It's going to speak for itself. Let's check out the rebounding. That is right. After all the dominant stuff you've already seen on this build, we still get a 96 offensive rebound and an 81 defensive rebound. Now this is where another option for the cap breakers comes in. If you wanted to, you could use 3 on the offensive rebound to get that to a 99, and then use 1 on standing dunk to get Hall of Fame rise up, and then use that last point on strength to get 96 strength. If you did all that, you'd get the 99 rebound, you'd get the 95 standing dunk for Hall of Fame rise up, and you'd also have high enough strength so that if you ever did hit the second level of cap breakers, which I plan on doing, you could put that second set of 5 on post control to get that to a 98, and then you'd have legend post powerhouse on this build also. So if you go that route and end up getting 2 sets of cap breakers, you will have legend rebound chaser, Hall of Fame rise up, and legend post powerhouse. Another very viable option. It just kind of depends on how much you plan on playing the game. But either way, this 96 rebound does get us Hall of Fame box out beast, gold pogo stick, and Hall of Fame rebound chaser. So all the stuff you've already seen, yes, we still end up getting Hall of Fame rebound chaser on this build. And if you're wondering why I did offensive over defensive, it is cheaper, and once you have the badges, you're getting the rebounds anyways. By cheaper, I mean it takes up less attribute points in the builder and lets me put them in other places. Trust me when I say this is definitely the best way to set this up, but the one thing that is up to you is how you're going to use your cap breakers. It really depends on what you want to turn your build into. And then finally, onto the physicals for this build. You do see we get 67 speed, 54 agility, 95 strength, which is a huge difference maker on this build, as well as that 82 vertical. Strength and vertical matter more this year than they have in a long time. Strength really makes this Shaq build. You're throwing people out of the way constantly. I've talked about it a ton. You see a bunch of the badges it gives you. But vertical, not very many people are talking about vertical. It's going to help you grab way more rebounds, grab way more blocks. The higher your vertical actually makes you jump higher in the game. I know it sounds crazy, but in some years it hasn't. So with this at an 82, we're higher than a lot of other centers, and when they go for the rebound, we're going to go right over their head. It's honestly a difference maker. Trust me, you're going to want this maxed out. Speed and agility, that's pretty obvious. We just want to go as fast as we can because we are a center build. We're already slow, so we want to prevent that as much as possible. Those aren't too crazy, but the strength and vertical really make this build stand out. And we also get a pretty sick name, so let's check that out. As you can see, we get shades of Wilt Chamberlain, Clint Capella, and my boy Steven Adams. And we are a paint beast. I love this name. Every year in 2K, it's a really cool name. And it really describes this build. We are a paint beast. We are taking over everything in the paint. I'm absolutely loving this Shaq build. If you guys make this one, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Drop a like, drop a sub on your way out, and I will catch you in the next one.